Yo, Tube, what's good? It's Egg. In this video, I have quite a treat for you guys. It's the dueling guide on how to beat DKs in Wrath. So DKs, if you guys don't know, are one of Mage's hardest classes to beat in a duel, besides maybe a hunter. I actually have one of my very close friends. His name is Other Another. He's the highest rated DK on NA Classic. He was the best DK in Wrath, probably will continue to be the best DK in Kata, and I was able to get some duels into him. We were hanging out the other day. So I actually have some duels, and we have a couple duels here. We did a best of 5.
Yeah, just
so
dumpster that guy.
we're gonna go over these duels now. So let's investigate how the first duel starts here. I'm gonna keep it on mute for now. So what do we got? Let's break it down from the start. So you can see here, the duel is going. What does he do? He AMS's first global. You can see, duel just started, already AMS. There's nothing you can really do that is considered productive in this time. What you want to go ahead and do is just trade block. So as you can see, I set the full block. I come out. And now immediately I want to start getting pressure rolling. So there's two things he's going to want to do when you come out of block. He's going to try to get your damage, his damage rolling by using on-use trinket with gargoyle. Because if you guys don't know, the on-use trinket is going to snapshot on gargoyle. So gargoyle will continue to have increased strength from that proc trinket. So it's very important to minimize the amount of damage you take from that. And then also you want to get your own damage rolling here. So there's a couple different things you can do. You have Nova Blanket. That's a big combination for you. He cannot kick you while he's blanketed. He cannot AMS. He cannot AMC. He cannot grip. It's basically a pseudo deep freeze. And then you also have deep freeze as well. So you can see here my globals, we're tracking them here on the right. So I blanket with Frost Nova. I go ahead and I pop veins in my on-use trinket. And I go ahead and start loading up a big Frostbolt Shatter here. You can see I immediately impairing it. He actually made a really good play and a little bit of a misplay on my end. I stood a little bit too close to the ghoul, but I actually didn't know that if the ghoul was in a root that he could still gnaw. I learned something in this duel. You want to space this just a little bit extra so that he can't use that melee range gnaw. But it's okay, I just go ahead and blink. And then since I did make a mistake here, I go ahead and deep. And now some people might be thinking, why would you not just load up a Frostbolt Shatter into this Nova instead of deeping off of the blanket? And that is because if I were to load up a Frostbolt into this, he would have no CC on him. So he would immediately just either zone or grip the Frostbolt. And then when he grips you in, what he's going to do is he's going to place Dark Sim on you. And then that's where you need to not panic, because he's going to try to dark sim your blink or something important, right? Like maybe a block. In this case, I don't really have anything he could dark sim, but I'm just saying in general. So I go ahead for the deep freeze. I pop my mirrors because I know he's going to immediately IBF. So I get ahead on globals on getting distance and getting more globals out. So I send in my orb. I send in my mirrors. The orb is ticking, it slows him. I Nova him in it because he has IBF right now. But that's just basically a damage reduction. That is also another trinket for him. So I Nova him in there with a re-barrier global as well. I'll put up another shield global while that barrier sits because I plan on putting an instant cast into that. But what I also do here is I swap to Mage armor because I know he's trying to strang me here pretty soon. So now I'm throwing in my instant casts. That was a Frostfire into Lance. And now I go ahead and I Cold Snap here for my second orb, so I can generate more instant cast with the Frostfire. I also have my double proc trinkets, so those are going to snapshot the orb. The orb is going to do increased damage. So I'm just trying to get as much instant cast damage in with my Volcano proc and my on use. Then you can see I get a nice little impact here, and that I use that as he gets close. Here, let me back it up just a smidgens. So you can see I'm putting instant cast damage. As soon as he's about to be in range to get a global on me, I impact him, and that lets me make a little bit more distance and also buys you time until your counter spell is available. So now you can see I set up the counter spell. I don't want him to zone here, even though he is Nova'd. I don't want to just load up the bolt. I want to blanket silence him here. And it's also on his Lichborn. So this is another thing. DKs, when they have full runic power, watch his globals here. So he liches, coils himself, 26%, coils himself, 41%, coils himself, 54%. So I blanket him, it just came up, couldn't have done it earlier. I load up a big Frostbolt into Frostfire into a root combo. Boom, big damage here, chunks him down to 29%. Go ahead and Nova him again while he's blanketed. just so I can get more distance. Then I go ahead and deep freeze him off the blanket as well, so I can continue my distance. He will trinket this one. He went ahead and traded trinket like we said. And then I do have another impact, put that on him. Spamming Ice Lances here, and then you can see his AMS comes up again. So he's about to do that. AMSs, I blink. I tried to, so basically my thought process here was I would blink, catch him on global, and then block the grip. But it doesn't do anything. It was just kind of an experiment I was doing in the moment. But yeah, on the AMS, you just want to make sure you have block for those. Make sure you're spamming pet attacks so that you're getting that little min-max amount of damage in there. And then I'm waiting for my counter spell to come off cooldown. And then I come out instantly. What I'm doing is I'm trying to blanket him before he strings me, because it's basically who is going to get the silence first. So I actually cancel my block with 1 second left. I come out like a global early essentially so that he doesn't expect it. I get the CS, I get the Nova, and now I go ahead and I ring him. He gets the string off, didn't have grip, so that's why he opted to string. And then with this, I can load up a big shatter combo here. He gets the zone off. I'm spamming lances. Now you can see he walks into the ring and gets half rung, so I just opt to evocate here. Now you can see he has grip back. What I should do is when he grips me in, just immediately be spamming blink. So you can see I quarter deep him on it before he gets the chains of ice on me. Lets me make some distance. Now blanket silence is back. So I Nova blanket, lance, fire blast to take him out. And we got the first dub. So now I want to go into another duel where maybe it doesn't go as well. So you can see we load up the duel here. And now how does the duel start? He pre-AMSs. I get the pet away so that when I block, he can't build runic power off of it. And if he does, he has to create distance for me. So now I have distance. I come out, I pet Nova. So I opt to deep first here, and you'll see he actually has badge with gargoyle up. So since he has no AMS already, he pre-used it in the opener. The only thing I would be blanketing him here for is to prevent the grip. So you can see I don't do that, and that's a mistake I made this duel. And then I blanket him late, but it was when I had Dark Sim on me. So I blink, and now he has my counter spell, so I have to be a little careful. His pet was on me, didn't notice, so I got gnawed. I Nova, I'm taking so much damage from this gargoyle. The DK has not even touched me, really. It's mainly just the gargoyle. So it also could be said that I should have saved my counterspell for the gargoyle, maybe. At least to buy me time to get to my second block. And you can see I'm playing this terribly. What goes wrong? I put down like a, let's see. I Nova him, but I try to ring it when the Nova only has like 1 second left, and I thought I could impact him in it, but he walks forward a little bit, get the cone root on him, and in that time I just die. So not the greatest duel on my end. I was checking out the amount of damage he did. And then we have duel number 3 here. This is where I kind of thought of something a little elementary, and I'm like kind of saying to myself, how did I not think of this before? So I go ahead and I invis at the start of the duel, but when he drops the duel flag, I invis before I accept it, because if you do it as you accept the duel, he can kind of see where you're at and just death and decay you out. So I mix up my positioning a little bit. He has no idea where I'm at. And then I'll immediately start with a deep freeze because I want to start forcing options from him. For one, I want to start doing damage. And for two, I want him to have to trade like Trinket or IBF in the opener because that puts me ahead on timing. So I immediately come out, Pet Nova Deep. I put my Veins on use. Orb, because I want that orb to slow him while I kite him further, because I'm also going to blanket off of this, so he's going to be kind of stuck in this little area. So I lit up the Frostbolt Ice Lance. I counterspell into my Frost Firebolt. Load up another Frostbolt because the pet is still slowed over here, so he can't gnaw this one. Another Frostbolt Ice Lance, big shatter. I drop my mirrors before I block because they're going to do damage to him while I'm in block. So I got the pet shooting him. I got the mirror shooting him. All this little damage is going to add up in the long run. He sends the Badge Garg. I have no counterspell for it. He strangs me. And you can see I like to start the duels in Frost Armor, because you're going to be trinketing the strang in this matchup regardless. That the I find that the armor from Frost Armor actually helps a lot against, for one, the pet. There's like 2 abilities that the DK has that are actually melee. You get a little bit of increased armor versus those as well. But sometimes when you don't have Trinket, if you have to Trinket something stupid, then you want to swap to Mage Armor if he still has String, so that the Mage Armor will reduce the magical effect of String to about half of its duration. So I go ahead and I Cone of Cold root him, creating some distance here. He actually zones over gripping me here. So I'm just going to continue to pump into this. Well, he grips me now with Dark Sim. This is why he's the best, guys. I mean, it's as simple as that. So he grip Dark Sims me. So there's 2 schools of thought here. I could give him something stupid. I could waste a global, like slow fall. Something pointless, right? But in that one global, I'm going to be taking like a Scourge Strike, a pet hit, and a Garg hit. So I actually opt to just blanket him so that he can't actually do damage to me. And I create a little bit of space. So I don't want to take 2. Now, I do feed him the counterspell, but I'm never really going to be going for a hard casted Frostbolt in his face if I don't already have like a blanket or a deep on him anyways. So I don't really mind giving him the counterspell there. So you can see I Nova Blanket, put a ring down with the remaining part of the Nova. He has no AMS to avoid it. He has no grip to grip me in. He has no String. So the ring's going to sit full. He still does have Trinket. He trinkets out of that one, transforms his pet here. So now his pet has a interrupt. I believe he uses it there for the root. And then he goes ahead and, oh, here, let me back up so we can see my globals. So you can see here I'm using shield globals. I snap for another barrier. I send in my orb. I pop my veins. I deep freeze half because he was in ring, so that's why it's half. And he goes ahead and aggressively IBFs that. So I have pet transform on me. He has IBF, can't really do too much. Damn. I go ahead and just trade the block. Making sure the pets are hitting him. Just waiting for my counterspell to come back. And now keep in mind, he has AMS out of this. So I need to come out a little early and counterspell him like I said before. Get a nice Nova. Frostbolt into a big Ice Lance Shatter combo. Pet Nova for 2 more Lance procs. I think this is called like Monstrous Blow or something. So I blink it. He grips me in. This is where it gets a little sketchy. I do a little DR Cone root. I get the barrier off. He AMSs aggressively, and at this point the duel is just so fucked. So I actually get like a nice little period of time where I have no chains of ice on me. He's using some other goals like Empower Rune Weapon into heal, into raise ghoul, into chains. And then that actually gives me time to get the deep freeze off. But it's not looking good for me, right? I have no barrier. I have no blocks right now. I do have a blink coming up here with no grip available. So I cast 1 Frostbolt, 2 Frostbolt, into an Ice Lance there. It looks like they both, it's a little tight, but basically the way it works is if the Frostbolt goes off when the deep is still active, it will count as the crit or get the shatter bonus. I think in this case, it's so close. Like, you know what I mean? Like if the Frostbolt goes off while the deep is active on the target, the Frostbolt will, I believe, snapshot the debuff of the deep freeze and count it as a shatter, even though the travel time will connect to the DK when he's not in a deep freeze. So it's hard to say if this second Frostbolt on a non-Veins deep freeze is worth it. But I did have an early Frost proc here. You can see my Frostbolt's going. That's our tier 1 talent, or our first talent in the Frost tree, early Frost. So I think I can set, the reason I do this is now I think I can get a second one in. So I send that in. We'll never know. We'll never know if that crit was just RNG or because it actually did snapshot. Now I got an impact proc. And then I have a blanket silence as well. I'm going to go ahead and immediately send that off of the blanket silence. Use a shield global at the same time because counterspell is not on global. So I'm almost dead, dying to diseases. I go ahead and put the mana shield up so I don't die. I'm at 6% HP. So I do have the, what is it called here? The counterspell. I got my little baby barrier up here. I cock root him with the blanket. I load up a Frostbolt. And then what I do here, I use my Pet Nova so I can get 2 fingers of Frost proc so I can shatter an Ice Lance as well. Boom, big shatter. We win the duel barely with 3% HP. Crazy fucking duel. All right, let's see if we can do one. No, actually, this was a best of 5. We'll do all the duels. This one's only a minute long. I'll try not to pause it too much. So you can see I'm starting the duel in Invis. I'll go ahead and start with the Pet Nova Deep. We're on fast mode now, guys, okay? Try to keep up. So I get the Veins, on use, Orb, double Frostbolt, Lance, drop the mirrors. He pops AMS, I'm kiting it out. He pops the, and you notice I actually didn't block this one because he was so far away. So now I blanket him, and I'm opting to still just go for a lot of pressure here. I do go ahead and block now that my barrier broke because the gargoyle is snapshotted with the strength buff. So this is a big damage on me. I have all my pets out. They're going to be doing damage to him. He actually opts to Lichborn heal while I'm in block, which gives him the amount of death coils to transform his pet, because he needs to actually death coil himself 5 times before he can transform his pet. So I go ahead and Nova. He forces out my blink, and he dark sims my blink. Why he's the best. So I pet Nova him here, trying to make some distance. I trinket the strength, drop a ring. I think I missed it, so I go ahead and deep freeze. Just spamming lances. He goes ahead and IBFs. I snap for another barrier, get my second veins rolling because I need the haste to stay alive right now. I have 3 seconds until my next hypo. I need this decreased global cooldown speed. Drop the orb, root him. What am I doing? I blink away. He has no grip. Actually, he does have grip. I don't know why he's not gripping me. Either way, I get away. I go all the way over here. I drop a ring where he's going to have to go. He AMS's it. I'm in 4 for range, so I know I have to get back. I block just for a second on the death coil, blink back towards the ring. Don't know why I threw that lance into that AMS. No one will ever know. I root him there with a blanket, load up a frostbolt, deep freeze, another frostbolt, lance. Oh, actually cock root him off that. Grips me, but I have blink in 1 second. I press. Go ahead and get the mana shield up. I'm just tanking 15 death coils in a row into an icy touch. Get the little baby cock root on him, and I'm just dead. And then let's do one more duel here. So this was the final duel of the series. Right now it's 2-2. It's all down to the wire. Who's gonna win the last duel, guys? Let's see what happens here. So we're in Diz. What do? We start like we started every duel. Start with the pet Nova deep. Oh wait. Now it's making sense why I lost this duel. I thought I deeped him here, but he wasn't deeped, and then he AMS'd, and then my whole go is gone. Luckily, my volcano hasn't procced yet, so I still do have damage late coming. So I got the gargoyle on focus here. I go ahead and deep the DK, and I'm trying something different this game. I actually kicked the gargoyle, so we're going to see how that works out for me. Even though I didn't really get a good opener. So you can see my volcano does proc here. He has IBF up, which means I can't impact that. I get my mirrors out. I'm on hypo for 15 more seconds. I barrier. Now's a really good time to snap as well. So I Nova. So now you can see the reason I Nova first is now everything is on cooldown as max as it can. So I have my block is on cooldown, my barrier is on cooldown, my Nova is on cooldown, and my veins is on cooldown, and my deep's on cooldown. So this is the most valuable deep freeze you can get, and my ring as well now. So I go ahead and get this Evo off with that Nova into ring. I pet Nova him into a lance, I go ahead and pop my mana shield into a cone of cold root. I don't know why I'm not snap veinsing these goes. You can see he dark sims. I give him a fire blast. I blanket him. Blink out of this. Should be able to barrier here. Cold snap. I go ahead and send the block on the AMS. So it's actually looking winnable. He does heal himself to full here with Lichborn. But this is still definitely winnable. I think he used IBF. I'm not sure if he has trinkets still. But I can definitely maybe win this. I trinket the string, I deep. He trinkets. Oh, it's looking a little bit grim actually. So this is where you have to kind of rely on like nice impact procs to keep distance. So you can see his grip. I can't just shove the blink. So I impact him into a blanket. And I actually sheep him. I sheep him to reset. So what are we trying to do here? We're eating up. We want to make sure we resheep, get that eat tick. One more, and then I want to load up some damage off this because that's going to be how I get momentum. Retargeting him. Get a cone of cold root on him with a blanket, and so I can load up another frostbolt brain freeze. I'll actually go for a frostbolt deep, and keep in mind he has no trigger or IBF now, so I load up a frostbolt into a giant shatter combination platter with brain freeze, even though this doesn't show on my goals. Then I impact him off. I get a lance right there. It crits. He AMSs at 4%. It's looking a little bit over. I barrier. I have mana shield. I blink out of desperation here in a second. I have an impact. I died to something. Not sure what, but it was close. Hope you guys learned something about these duels. They were really tough, even though I did go 2 and 3 in the series.
That was the most unfucking lucky impact done of my life.
Ooh. Ooh.
Bro, get in. Nope, too slow. Oh no. I'm dead here.
Damn. Ooh. I didn't hit as hard as I thought it was.
No. Oh
Damn.
my God.
The brains.
Early AMS, but whatever.
No, just.
Yeah, record this duel, buddy. Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Easy clap. Welcome to fucking my expansion, buddy.
Oh, it's over. Sick block.
Yeah. There's no way that impact's done, dude. Oh no! Wait! What?
Oh
Dude,
my
that impact stun
god.
was so cringe, dude.
Holy shit.
That was the most cringe impact stun of my life.
The trick is to get the DK to duel you first so you can just position and stuff. Oh, that was good.
Trying a new strategy, bro. You gotta adapt.
That was good, bro. Dude.
I mean, I just dumped a full fucking runic bar into you, buddy.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and cancel me.
Wait, dude. Interesting.
Resetting, bro? Nice. There's no fucking way, dude. That impact stun is so fucking garbage.
No.
Impact stun is actually retarded.
No, dude, I should have won that.
What? You should have won that?
Yeah, I was so
No.
close, dude.